ladies' room. And my text for today is, I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellas stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash in my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I am a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. So today I wish you a joyful, happy Women's History Month, a happy International Women's Day, which is today, March 8th, and then with a heart full of gratitude and joy, I stand here and wish my mother, Donna Mary Smith Johnson, a happy 84th birthday, as she is turning 84 today. And I was thrilled to see that Science of Mind, I love that cover, celebrating the divine feminine this month. And with this month being Women's History Month, and today being International Women's Day and my mom's birthday, I thought, let's focus today or talk about the divine feminine. And I feel that honoring the divine feminine is 100% in line with our theme for the month, the spiritual life. Because the spiritual life is a life of balance. And the challenge here in this Western world is that the foundations of our religions are patriarchal. They're male-centered, they're male-dominated. You know, in the Mormon church, there's the ordained women. Women are trying to become ordained. In the Mormon church in the 21st century, that's still not possible. And then the Church of God in Christ. You know, some of the other Baptist folks, they still won't ordain women. You can fix everything for the repast, run that church, but you can't preach in that church. Or be ordained to preach in that church. You'll be an evangelist. There's no disrespect to that, but I'm just saying that, you know, to take the women out of any church. Thank you, Pastor.
No, thank you.
And even for us, even though we say, well, we're New Thought, but we came out of that religion, even the great works of Ernest Holmes, or Wallace Wattles, or Ralph Waldo Emerson, they use that generic he that's supposed to represent us all. And so this lack of acknowledging and honoring the divine feminine has had some consequences for us. That the repression of the feminine has led to a planet on the edge of collapse because we don't have balance. And that the reemergence is going to be a dance to behold. And that Bishop Tutu, or Bishop Desmond Tutu says that we're going to see real development in the world. Our best investment is in women. And this isn't about, you know, it's like you say, when you have black pride, white folks like, no, you're trying to hate on white folks. No, it's not that. So this honoring the divine feminine isn't male bashing. It isn't about, because all of us have divine masculine and divine feminine. And it's about creating this one of my favorite images, the Shiva Shakti. That balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That if any human being is to reach full maturity, both the masculine and the feminine side of their personality must be brought up into consciousness. And as women, we are having some of the best and most perfect opportunities to show that we are multifaceted and multidimensional, and that it starts with us. That for us, we can bring the divine feminine, and we have to bring that in all its beauty and its ugliness sometimes. But that the divine feminine is the warrior and the healer in a womanly package. And that there are times, you know, there was this girl, Lily, as you know, is very tall. There was this girl that just tormented her something horrible in junior high. And Lily was like, I'm going to let her know. And I'm like, please don't. Because Lily was 6 foot tall in the 6th grade. So in middle school, she was very tall. This was a little petite girl. And then I said, please don't. Because all they're going to see is this huge girl hitting this little girl. Even though the little girl was actually older than Lily. But, oh, we saw them in the grocery store one day, and her little girl was like, hi, and I knew who she was. The mother's like, hi, and I was like, that's exactly what she got. She said, we weren't being a good Christian. I sure wasn't. I was being the warrior. I was going to let you know. Don't mess with, all of us have been that mother bear or have seen that bear. But we also know that that healing aspect, and that there is a beauty in both. You don't have to be either way. You don't have to be, oh, I'm soft and feminine, or, you know, You know, sometimes it works. You know, the security guard at Serves where I'm working said, hey, your tire's almost flat. Go down the street to tire 61, and they'll let them fill it up in there and check it out. So I went in there, and I knew. Older Southern white gentleman, I walked in and said, you know, the security guard told me that there's something going on with my tire, and that I should come here and that you would help me. Oh, he didn't charge me a dime, just, you know, that there is that aspect to come in that soft way, but to remember that it's really about the balance. It's really about the balance. And so what is the purpose of my talk today? It's to encourage us all to live a balanced spiritual life and to acknowledge, honor, and evolve our divine feminine Christ consciousness, that just like Master Jesus really represented that divine masculine Christ consciousness, we're finding out more and more about Mary Magdalene, that where she's been pushed down may have actually been sort of his divine equal in bringing about that divine feminine Christ consciousness energy. I thought I might preach today from the Proverbs 31 woman to honor that. I said, well, let me look at the book of Esther. And as I did my research, thoroughly shocked. You know, John, sometimes stuff in the Bible is hiding in plain sight. First thing that says, well, no, Esther's not a Jewish name. I said, okay, that's the name of Ishtar. I thought, no. Here is an Assyrian, a Babylonian god is right in the middle of the Bible being honored as a woman that God could work with. And the strange thing about Esther, the interesting thing is that the name of God doesn't even appear in that book. And so how do I do that? How do we develop, embody, evolve, and grow that sacred, divine, feminine Christ consciousness? Well, I'm glad you asked. So we're going to take a quick journey and look at some divine, feminine archetypes that can help us bring that more to the fore. You know, if women ran the world, there'd be a bit more softness. I mean, you know, Joan of Arc lets us know that women can be fierce. And if you saw Black Panther, all his warriors were those generals. So there's a fierceness, but there can still be a love, a compassion, a softness to that. And so part of developing and living in that divine feminine consciousness is about the flow and the fire. So Umoja represents the flow. In LA, she's worshipped on every corner, at every Starbucks. When you have a Starbucks, you see that mermaid on there. That beautiful goddess is a Celtic goddess, but this is the archetype. That water, being with the flow. Sometimes water comes in strong, sometimes it comes in soft. You know, it ebbs and it flows, and that is that part. You know, sometimes I was thinking about Gail and about John. I think both of them can tell that the illusion of control is just that. Because the minute you're not in control, when you're in the hospital and people are having to help you and you can't go to the bathroom, and you can't feed yourself, you realize what an illusion it has all been. But that if we could go with that flow and that ebb, and what I love about Umoja is that in this African religion, there's that balance of the divine masculine, the divine feminine. So she is the goddess of the top of the salt water. Oshun is over the Mississippi because she does the fresh water. But Eloquent is at the bottom of the ocean, and he's churning things up so that the good that is within us can come forth, and that which needs to be worked on can come forth. So they work together. And so the flow, and then the fire, the goddess Pele, that's where my birthstone comes from. And this, I think, is the challenging, is that, you know, especially for me, you know, people are like, don't be an angry black woman. Well, I'm angry, and I am black, and I'm a woman, so it's hard to not be that. You know, and I'm not angry every day. But I think especially for those of us in the New Thought where we want to be all, you know, but sometimes you got to bring that fire. All of us know there was a way your mother called you, or your aunt, or whoever was that woman, but when she changed that tone, you knew to go. That was that fire. And one of the things I would say, that anger is a blessing. That's how you know something happened where you felt violated. It's how you respond to that. So you say, I'm angry. I was upset. What did the group in the Heart Committee hear from me? I'm feeling salty. Right, but talk about it and move forward. You don't have to be passive aggressive. Or like my friend Janet says, there's people in our congregation that throw rocks but then hide their hand. That the fire doesn't just destroy, it purifies. And it gets rid of those things that aren't serving us. And so there is even a purpose in the fire in our lives. Next, how do I develop and grow that divine feminine white buffalo calf woman? Talks about that connection. You know, if you've never seen the show Pocahontas, or the movie, Disney movie, you should watch it. It's kind of, you know, it's all Europeanized in some ways. But one with everything. Would we be drilling and just bringing up goop in our oceans if we realize I'm one with this ocean? You know, what I love about living here, so many things. So much nature. So much nature. You know, that day we had that snow, and Millington, Atoka, we were good. I got down here into Memphis, you would have thought some kind of national disaster was happening. But all the naked trees, when they were covered with the snow, I said, "You're so beautiful. I see. I get it." I just really apologize to the spirit of winter. I've been hating on you all my whole life. But now I see that we are one. And then this will make Margaret happy. And Margaret, thank you for the help that you gave me on this section. Is Demeter. There's a time and a season for everything. There is change. And that part of that divine feminine is to be able to bring that change in. You know, people say, "Oh, I hate change." I'm like, "Well, are you sleeping on the same sheets you first got?" No. Do you change the oil in your car? Yes. You know, are you wearing the same clothes you've been wearing? No. We all change. And that is a part of life. And understanding that there are seasons in life. Sometimes you're low, sometimes you're high. Sometimes you want to interact and sometimes you don't. Sometimes things seem to really be shining, and then in a minute, it could be winter. But so we wouldn't be so shocked, but understand that that's the divine cycle, the moon, you know, full, waxing, waning, new moon. If we understood those cycles, if we stayed connected to that, change wouldn't be such a shocking, traumatizing thing that it is, and we would understand it's part of the flow of our lives. Last, or part of this, remembering that we are the container of the sacred. Mary Magdalene. My daughter's been doing some research and start looking at those crusades, talking about they're trying to find the Holy Grail. You know, the Da Vinci Code wigged us all out. But the understanding that there may be descendants of Jesus, that, you know, in that time, there was a word for boy, and then there was a word for married man. There weren't such thing as single men. So to have the understanding that, you know, Jesus was some kind of aberration, he would be married. And that Mary Magdalene would be the container for that sacred life within. And that for all of us women, that whether you've had a child or not, to understand that in that essence of who we are, but also for the men, that sacral chakra, that there is that sacred place within where there's creativity and that capacity to connect, to understand that the sacredness of God is in here. And last month, I love, you know, that the love of God is imparted deep within me by the Creator, that's the gift, that I am sacred right now, and that is within me. And then the joy of bringing, as Mother Mary represents, bringing that sacredness forward and sharing it with the world. It's no good to have, I'm all holy and godly and sacred, then you know, as Jesus, the Master Jesus said, what's the point of putting a light on the top of a hill if you're going to cover it? And this is that opportunity to bring that forth, to bring that sacred, divine Christ nature within, and to bring it forward. And then sometimes, just like last week, as John talked about, Kuan Yin. Sometimes you just got to dance. You got to be in that flow. You got to let it go. That just as the butterfly doesn't, you know, the caterpillar, one of the things that John talked about last week, that aspect of transformation, that for many women who, if you've had a child, we know that transformation happens. And for women, you know, we have the change, right? We understand that there's cycles in our life. And that part of that aspect of that divine Christ consciousness, that divine feminine Christ consciousness, is to let it go. and to allow that transformation to come about. I can't forget some of my favorite entities that I work with, which is Lakshmi, and understanding that abundance. All of us know, many times, I'll speak for myself, my mother, we ate on a shoestring budget, but my sister and I never knew it. I didn't know I was poor till I went to an all-white high school. And I said, what? I bought a ham hock there. You would have thought that I showed up with a gun. What is that? What is a ham hock? Don't y'all know what this is? But again, that abundance of love, of joy, and money. You know, I love that. Jesus like, oh, we got to pay taxes. Like, okay, go catch a fish. Okay, let me take the point out. That's that connection, that divine consciousness. That everything within and everything without is for my highest good. And to tap into that in balance with our divine feminine. And then lastly, as divine feminine, working with our heart's consciousness to understand again that cycle, maiden, mother, and crone. And to let that flow happen. That as I mature in some areas, there's other areas where I need to start. There's other areas where I'm growing, that it's still a cycle. But to be able to represent that balance, that Shiva Shakti of that divine Christ consciousness within. And to understand that things flow and have a way. The rise of the feminine within all of us will heal this world. I'm going to ask Rena to come, but I just want to invite us all. We're going to do just a 1 or 2 minute divine feminine meditation to close out this time together. And actually, I'm going to close it by reading the fullness of the Phenomenal Woman poem. But I'm grateful for the help that Margaret gave me in putting this talk together and having Rena assist in this time. You know, that's how we do it. We include. And so I would not dare stand up here today and not have other women participate. So if you would just close your eyes and take that time to go within. And to think about those nurturing, loving aspects of yourself. That place within where there is creativity, there is fertility, and there is flow. That is your divine feminine Christ consciousness. And the world needs that today. And so in this quietness, I invite you to take a deep breath in. And to remember that we flow like Yamoja. We may erupt at times like Pele, but we will bring the purity. And like our Native American sisters and brothers, we are connected. And as our Greek goddess Demeter reminds us, there's a time and a season for everything. And that as we accept the divinity within, give that divinity without, and walk in our abundance, flow with the butterflies, and remember that we are multidimensional. It can be presented as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or Maiden, Mother, Crone. It's all the same. We are one, ever-evolving, magnificent entity. And I end with this reading from the one and only Maya Angelou. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellas stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breast, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about, or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, 'cause I'm a woman, phenomenal.